So I love when people I follow in business share what their investments in themselves and education and coaching have been. So I thought I would share that with you for my Q1. So it is by the 15th of March, I had invested $50,000 into 2 programs, both masterminds. And for me, I didn't expect to be investing this. They popped up out of the blue. I didn't have my eye on a specific program that I wanted to go all in for, but when both of them popped up, it was just like a wholehearted, yes, I'm in. My gut was 100% telling me these are the 2 moves you need to make. So one was January and the second one was in March. My first one is a 6-month mastermind that began in March, but I invested in January. And the second one is sort of like a 12-month. I've paid for 12 months, but it will be ever enrolling. So $23,000 and $27,000. So I thought I would record this episode, give you a bit of a breakdown on what I'm working on in each, and why I decided to go all in, and my ROI mindset when investing in something like this. So maybe $50,000 seems like quite a lot of money to you, or maybe it doesn't, I'm not sure. But for me, it's a significant investment. It's not a small investment. It is I'm going all in investment. I need to make this work. And as I mentioned, maybe they weren't the perfect timing for me, but I knew I had to do them. So let me take you to my first one. And I'm not sure I'm going to share the name of the mastermind I've invested in. I will okay it with the person and link it in the comments if that's cool. I just don't want to reveal prices of masterminds in case they increase in the future and anyone's watching this years down the line and there's awkwardness. So I'm not going to reveal right now until I get the okay from both people. So my first mastermind, $23,000, and that was with an add-on of a one-to-one day. And this was a person that I had wanted to work with we're going back at least 4 years. I actually wanted to work with her during COVID, and part of it was in person, so I couldn't go because it was in Vegas. So, and then I asked to work with her one-to-one, and she actually didn't have any one-to-one spots or wasn't willing to work one-to-one, and that immediately heightened my demand. It's so funny when you make something unavailable and there technically is a wait list, it makes you want it more. So that strategy certainly does work. But she wasn't doing it one-to-one at the time I wanted to, and so basically I was told, we'll let you know when she is and come back to us. And I then seen on her Instagram stories, now this was 2020 I wanted to do this, and by 2024 is when I made the investment, and I've bought all of her courses, all of her programs. That's maybe totaled $10,000, $12,000, I'm not sure, but I knew that I wanted to work with her one-to-one. So first of all, this, is a testament to her marketing. That I still wanted to work with her 4 years later is also a testament to her course curriculum. I just wanted to work one-to-one with her and have her eyes on my business. And that leads me so nicely to my first point of why I've invested in both of these masterminds. And that is because I wanted high-level strategic, I'm just looking for my notes, strategic guidance on where I'm at. I didn't want another course. I wanted someone who is more successful than me to look at it and say, here is the next steps. And on my onboarding call before I actually officially joined, the coach that I've invested with said, I'm not a coach, I'm a strategist. And that was like music to my ears. And that's also how I feel I certainly led myself in business. I'm also a strategist. I'm very good at looking at the high level, view of someone's business and being able to map the next level or the next steps. But it's not always as easy to do that with your own business. So I knew then that, this is exactly what I want. I want to work with her. I've wanted to work with her forever. And so the investment was pretty much a no-brainer. I went all in and decided to join right there and then. And made my payment, and then I was part of it. And so that's already started. Another few reasons that I was really attracted to that idea was I like the strategy side, but I also was really attracted to the in-person element. So there's 2 in-person events. There's one in Vegas, and that is in a few weeks at the point of recording this. And then there's another one later in the year. So there was definitely that attraction of being in the in-person, and I see that being a massive way that the coaching industry and masterminds are going. People now want these in-person experiences. I've always done in-person experiences with our mastermind, but I think it's more in demand now. And then also, I like the idea that there would be other people on that mastermind at a similar level. I think that's one of the important things about masterminds is the group. And so I was assured that they are high-level women, they're at a similar stage in their business, and that was really exciting for me. I've got a great community of women within STAGERBOSS, but I also wanted to be part of some other masterminds. Mainly what I've invested in the last few years have been more online masterminds, and it's been a little bit more challenging to get to the in-person. So this was pretty key for me, and yeah, I was so excited. I've already had, part of the experience so far. It's been incredible. It's been an incredible investment already. And I'm making big moves from what I've been advised to do, investments in new funnels and ads and all this good stuff. So that was my first investment of the year. My second one was even more unexpected. And this was working with someone I've actually purchased a program for before, which was $20,000. And funny enough, that was on YouTube, how to build, a YouTube channel and get clients from it. But this was a different program with him, working more one-to-one with him on, again, a strategic level, one-to-one time with him in a group, a very, very small group of super high-level entrepreneurs. Some of them I've looked up to for years. And so this was a $27,000 investment for the year. And whilst I seen that, I already had one strategic guide and coach in my business. That was for certain arms of the business, which have already improved. This next mastermind that I went all in on is actually for another part of the business. So to be transparent, I'm mainly working on scaling, STAGERBOSS. And with my first coach, I'm really focusing on our evergreen side of things, or launches. I'm also going more into brand identity and how to build that out. With my second mastermind, I'm specifically looking to build a software. So spoiler alert, a software and also a book funnel for our STAGERBOSS book. And so 2 different parts of my businesses, the one business, 2 different arms, and I see both their skill sets being able to help me in both. So it was so powerful. Again, being around another group of people, there's in-person elements to that also. And just that whole, I've wanted to work with this person for years. This is what I talk about in marketing, is building that brand buy-in where someone will be hanging around you for years. They might buy certain things, but then they make that big sort of dream client payment and go ahead. So I've been in both of these people's worlds for a very long time, and it was definitely the right time for me to jump in. But let's talk about the ROI mindset when it comes to investments. I've always invested quite big in things like this. I think my first big sort of mastermind payment was $25,000, and that was back in 2019. So I have always had this mindset, and I always overlook probably what many people don't in terms of life timing. If it feels right, I go for it. So in terms of that ROI mindset, I always view it as, I heard this on an amazing podcast. When you invest in something, whether it's a mastermind or a coach or someone you want to work with, you're not investing in them. And I think this is one of the mistakes that many people make. When I make that payment, I'm not giving them that money so that they give me success. I'm investing in myself through them. So I'm investing in me and my business and my potential through them. They're going to be that guide. They're going to be the person that helps, steer me along the way. But ultimately, it's on me. So I think with any investment that you make, and regardless what container it is, whether it's a course or a mastermind, you need to consider that this is on you. Yes, that person can help. They hopefully will be a huge help, but this is on you. So that ROI mindset really helps me always get a return. On top of that, I also always know, it's like a knowing, I will make this money back, because my identity is I make things happen, I make things work. And so if I invest this, I will earn that back because I achieve these things. So it's that knowing that that is going to come back to me. And I find that incredibly powerful, but also it works because you've held your feet to the fire. You need to make it back. You need to make it work. And this is why making larger investments in yourself and your business is really powerful, because when you make that larger investment, it needs to be soon enough that you want to see that money back in your account. Perhaps if it was a $2,000 investment, I wouldn't really notice it if it's there or not and wouldn't care so much. Whereas when it's at that next level, it's like, wow, I noticed that chunk out of my bank account. I want that back in there. So I'm going to work as hard as possible to recoup that money. And of course, then turn a profit through the strategies I've been given in the mastermind working with this coach. So the ROI mindset of this is on you. Secondly, have the identity that you make it back, but also let it hold your feet to the fire of this is going to work. It needs to work. So for me, those are really three key things with the ROI mindset. And for me, the timing wasn't right, but I made the timing work. I molded it to where I was. And even though there was 2 investments pretty much back to back, they were also offers I couldn't say no to because of the brand those people had built. So that inspired me to also build that brand where people couldn't say no to, which hopefully I am on the way to working on. And 2 more things that I'd written down here was, one of the things I've written down says, being around another visionary. This was incredibly powerful, and this is one of the things I actually heard one of them speak on. Being around someone also who is a visionary is one of the most incredible conversations you can have, where you're like mental volleying back and forth with someone on potential opportunities, ideas. It's an incredibly powerful place to be. Surround yourself with people who think bigger than you, who are more successful than you, and you will rise up. It is so true. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And that is 100% how I'm feeling right now, is I'm up leveling to these people's level because I'm around them. I'm playing at a higher level. I've paid to get in the room, which is always incredibly important. Paid to get in these rooms where you're forced to up-level yourself, your business, how you present yourself, every single element. So I love being around those people, having those conversations, and I always feel like with an investment like that, one idea, just one like flippant comment can make your full investment back. And a lot of it, I've almost made my investment back. And we're like 2 or 3 weeks down the line at the point of recording this. And then the final reason that I invested in these higher level containers is that I want proximity. I don't want course content. So with that, I want to be in proximity. Proximity is power to the coach. I don't want another online course to watch. I don't have time. I do have online courses and I refer back to them so often, but I want that proximity to the coach and the strategist to handpick, Liv, here is what you should specifically do, rather than here's 50 videos, go watch them. So for me, that was absolutely key. That was incredibly powerful. And just on that note, the timing is never right with this. Back-to-back investments wasn't ideal, but I made it work. And I want to win huge this year. We're on track to scale STAGERBOSS to $1 million business this year. Still scaling my other companies, and I knew that to make this happen, I needed to make some big moves. I've invested more in that last year, but in a short space of time, that's probably the most I've invested in the space of like 5 days. So stay tuned. I'm flying out to some of those masterminds in the upcoming weeks, months. I'd love to give you an update on how it's going. But if you are feeling called, if you have got something in the back of your mind that you know that you want to join, maybe this is your sign. Maybe this is the universe. Maybe it's myself saying, go for it, make the leap, make that investment, invest in yourself. It will come back tenfold.